Hey, Ronnie Jr. Oh, wait, you're Ronnie.
Is it? Did I do that? Wait, no, it
No, it
says
was.
okay. Behind the scenes, it says the host has unmuted you. So did you mute me?
I did mute you because I don't know how this. Look, I'm still learning the system, so I don't know how the mute actually works. So I don't know, like when the overlay plays for our intro, is if it mutes you automatically. Because remember that one mishap we had? We were both like, "Oh."
Oh, I've done it too, but I was like, "Are you silencing me?" No. It's wonderful, and we're back. And by the way, you're newer to running, the program, and even like establishing or reestablishing your YouTube channel. So I think you're doing a great job. Number one, though,
Thank
Russell,
you, Ronnie
we are
Jr.
back. We are
We
back
are
about these
back.
Jersey girls. We did. We haven't talked in like almost 2 weeks.
It's funny because we're bringing a little like ASMR. Is that what it's called? Where like it's very soft spoken because you and I
I
are
think
both like
so. Yeah, yeah.
nobody knows this, but we're both
Hmm.
on the East Coast. I'm in
Hmm.
Toronto, Canada right
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
on business, and Ronnie Jr. is actually back where you and I used to just live our best
Live
lives
it up.
in New York City.
Hmm.
Can I tell the people why you're in New York City?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
Why?
Ronnie
Why? Why? Why,
Jr.
why am I here? No, it's because I love it. But yes,
So
yeah.
Ronnie Jr. is in New York City because he's been popping into the studio with Jonesy in the morning on 94.7 The Block.
Hmm.
Ronnie is giving all the pop culture talk. He's giving all the info. He's also celebrating Miss Jones's new single.
Oh, I got it right here. So
Oh,
it's a shout out to the Queen of Queens, calling all ladies.
calling
Is
out ladies. I was say calling the girls, but it's because you and I always talk about the girls.
we talk about the girls, but we're calling all the ladies. We're calling the Real Housewives of New Jersey castmates to, receive the call and do the calling all ladies dance challenge. I mean, that's what it's all about. No, but Miss Jones holds me down. I've been in New York. It's been fun. Jonesy in the morning, 94.7 The Block. I just can't say enough good things. But yeah, calling all ladies. I would love more than anything to see Dolores and Melissa Gorga do the Calling All Ladies dance challenge because there's a challenge that is emerging, Russell, and we got
Oh,
to
I
get our
gotta jump
Jersey
on
girls.
this.
We're recapping Jersey, so we're gonna have to make this happen. This is how we do it.
I gotta jump on. I'm gonna jump on this, and then I'm gonna have it ready for next week, and then I'm gonna play it.
I mean, all
Yes,
right, all
but
right.
if you're just joining us right now, or if you're watching this post recording, and you got kids and you need to just get them out the way, go ahead and send them over to Peacock and have them watch Create the Escape.
Hmm.
I'm one of 3 co-hosts on this show. I'm the builder designer, and it's real fun. The kids get to dream up their ultimate escape room,
Hmm.
and their parents have to come in at the end of the week, and they have to try to get out. Now, if the parents lose, the kids get the big mystery prize box, and I can't tell you what's in the box, and I
Hmm.
can never tell you what's in the box because it's top secret. But if the kids lose, the parents get these medals, which
Oh,
it's really kind of funny because, like, like it's hilarious to watch how competitive parents and kids get, and they really get in there, and they really they really just want to destroy their kids sometimes, and it's so funny to watch, and the kids just like want to just annihilate their parents. So if you're watching Housewives and then you're just here with me and Ronnie and you're watching the recap, please send your kids over to Peacock and watch Create the Escape. That way they're occupied and they're watching me there and you're watching me here, and everybody's happy
yeah.
because they're watching Russ, but then you get to watch me with Ronnie and you get a little bit of R&R, a
R
little
and
bit of
R. That's what it's about.
ASMR.
Yeah, everyone needs a little R&R, and that's the thing about it. I almost feel like Create the Escape should, at one point, if they're not already, like, okay, so like how you and I can't speak for you, but I don't think we love Jennifer, right? But you know what? Jennifer's kids are just they're so lovable
Oh,
on this
I love
show.
Jennifer's
Like,
kids.
I would love to see them do an escape room, and even like Jen and Bill, like like you said, the parents also are part of the program. Create the Escape on Peacock. Like, I mean, it's such a good show. I feel like at some point those worlds could collide. It seems like.
I would go wild. And by the way, just in case you don't know why you're here for some reason and you stumbled upon us, you are watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap with myself, Russell Ray, and Ronnie Jr. Season 13. This is episode 12 and 13 recap because Ronnie and I have been jet setting across America.
Mhm.
So we were finally able to sit down and make it happen. We know it's about 9:45 back on the West Coast.
Oop.
The Well, I'm not going to say it, but
Uh-oh.
I don't want to rival
Exclusive
Coast right now.
content?
I
What is
don't
that?
want to rival
Oh, you
Coast.
don't want the smoke? Oh yeah. Okay. You don't want to drudge it up. And then I'm also thinking like I haven't really ate all day, so I'm like, is it okay to eat my salad
Oh my God, I'm
while we're talking?
starving.
But then again, Wendy Williams, remember Wendy at home? She would eat and everyone loved it.
Oh
So
my gosh. I don't know if you want to see, look, I don't know if you want to see food all up in these teeth because
bruh.
they're already, I have horse teeth anyways
Oh,
because they're
not
just
the
so
horse.
big. So, like, I think food's second there. Anyways, so we are going to get right into it. If you're having a little late night nightcap, our word for the day is going to be daughters. Sorry, I hit the
Oh
mic.
no.
Daughters. And just in case things go a little derail like Mickey Mouse's roller coaster, I will put up the parental advisory. So
It
you
might. It
know.
might. There's so much tension between this show. I mean, things are really building up. It's weird that we know sort of what's going to happen. So the fact that it's getting there and it's getting closer, flashing forward to there was episode 12 and 13 we're covering. There was the moment. We'll talk about it in a moment, but
We will.
where Louis wasn't as Louis friendly as we think, or what people want him to think.
Yes.
So I can't wait to get to that. But
I'm going to unpack that. We have a special segment today called Escandalo Girl Chat.
okay, okay. Well,
And
I'm here.
for those who know me and those who've been around me know that I love Jessica Wilde. Jessica Wilde and I used to work at Cobra in North Hollywood together.
Hmm.
And
Ooh, you were there.
Jessica Wilde's tagline is Escandalo. It's me,
Mhm.
Jessica Wilde. So it's like something that I've kind of clung onto. So I want to give a special shout out to Jessica Wilde because she is actually appearing on All Stars
Yeah.
after X amount of years. And I'm so excited to watch her and watch her prevail. So Escandalo,
I
girl chat.
can't be more excited about her and a lot of the cast. There's a really good cast. And I saw Jessica Wilde perform, sort of recently. So I am into it. It's gonna be good. Good
Look,
season.
when you bring in OG, all bets are off, baby, because
Yeah.
they are the original. They are sewing. They do everything.
Mhm.
Today, like I'm not gonna take anything from today's girls, but the original girls really had to put in the groundwork in order to make Drag Race what it is today.
And
That's all I'm gonna say.
they give reality TV drama, compassion, the highs
Yes.
and lows the same way that our Jersey cast does. So
Yes.
yeah, chances are you're watching both shows.
Chances are.
Hmm.
So let's get into it. What are our thoughts about Ireland overall? I think personally, I think it was a beautiful trip. I think we had some moments there,
Hmm.
like some reconnects, which is always good. We had some college pounding,
Hmm.
like alcohol pounding.
I was gonna say college pounding.
We had some alcohol pounding, and I was
Ouch.
like, interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, so let me hear your thoughts. What do you think?
I mean, I think I've said once before when we were recapping, when they kind of first got there, there's so many vacations that these cast members go on, and I necessarily just, watch it and love it for them. But this is definitely one where I felt a sense of like, oh, not jealousy would not be the word, but I want that experience too. And I don't know if that's because Dolores got to navigate it in a way where she said, this is where me and Polly, had our moment. And then, we see Polly's mother was there, and I guess like sisters or cousins or aunts. I'm not really sure.
Yes,
I
sisters and mom.
Yeah, all of that really is it added to the experience. And I have sort of, unfortunately, within my career, although it's good and everything, there's been a lot of starving artist moments for me, so I haven't really got to do all that world travel, and I just like see it and I'm like, I really loved seeing the girls have fun. Obviously it does showcase where you are. Really, you could kind of fake it the whole season, but when you're abroad together, everything's going to really come out. And we saw that we've been seeing a decline with Danielle, and we are seeing that she is somewhat, I'm not going to fully say it, but somewhat the weakest link, which
Very
still,
much.
it still allowed me to have compassion for her too.
Yes.
But it's kind of like anything we do, you and I, when you, and we've talked about stuff, when you're pushed to the test, that challenge will tell you where you're at, where you need to reset, and where
Very
you need to
much.
grow. So it was good. It was
I had
good.
one of those moments today where I'm like, I'm being challenged, but not in the way that makes me better, which I don't like. I don't like being challenged in a way that brings me down.
Mm.
I like being challenged in a way that causes me to intellectually work towards the things that I want. So we'll get into that on another day. We'll unpack that because there's a lot to unpack. We're already unpacking because we're traveling so much. So let's just unpack what we got for the show. So, okay, here's my thing with Ireland, right? So everything seemed like it was going smooth. It was nice. We get into Teresa and Melissa having sweet moments,
Mm.
right? So we last episode, so episode 12, they did like this bridal painting on the walls. So
Mm-hmm.
Melissa painted Sala Consolina with the with Nona, Nono, Joe, and Teresa representing how the family's close, how they grow. And there was like this sweet moment. And I feel like Teresa went for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Melissa started sobbing. And then all of a sudden it just stopped,
Mm-hmm.
which really baffled me because I don't know if it was a monster in law moment where, like, when Jane Fonda and J Lo made themselves cry in front
Mm-hmm.
of oh my god, his name is slipping my mind right now. But
Was that Matthew McConaughey or no? That was the
no,
other guy. And then
anyways, the husband, the doctor,
mhm.
right? So, and it was that moment where the doctor's in, oh my gosh, can you give us a moment? And then, then they start challenging each other. And I felt like this was very much what was going on in this moment. It was they were both pulling out the tears to have this genuine moment, and they were almost forcing themselves to connect. And then once everyone kind of stopped paying attention, it was just all bets were off.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go into the mud and they jump in together holding hands, and then Margaret tells them not to stay there. I believe it's Margaret tells them not to stay there until they make up. And I thought that was a sweet moment. So I was so confused or conflicted nonetheless, how to feel about their actual rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
But in our Escandalo segment, I have some
Mm-hmm.
tea of why
Mm-hmm.
they're acting the way that they're acting. But what did you think about their reconciliation moments?
Well, I think I always want everyone to try. I mean, the only thing I've ever seen mostly throughout the show, I can't speak for every episode ever, ever, ever. It's Teresa has a hard time doing that because a lot of things equate to her. Like, if anything at all, no matter what contribution she has into the argument or feud, if anything is done to her, she just like stands on that as like, you deserved how I treat you, kind of a thing. So, I mean, very much, I wouldn't say she is playing the victim, but she just has a defense in that way. But I feel like it usually seems like Melissa will at least try and be okay. So really, unfortunately, it seems, I could be wrong, that the ball is in Teresa's court because I don't see it working the other way around. I don't see Teresa being as willing to have those bonding moments and then Melissa kind of deciding yes or no. I feel like Melissa almost always says, for the sake of the family, let's do it. Let's try to have that moment. So I thought it was sweet. I thought it was sweet. The nucleus of the family, which of course was, I mean, kind of Melissa's way, not to show Teresa anything per se, but it was Melissa's way of saying we were there. Like, we were there when all the things that mattered in your life, you know, were those moments. We were there. But I don't know if that message always gets through to Teresa. Teresa, does look like she struggles to count to 10 sometimes. So,
That was
um,
such shade.
yeah, well, you asked a question. Yeah.
You know what? A lot has happened. Okay, so things have been going off the rails with Teresa lately in reality. And I want to get into girl chat so bad, but I know we got to
Mhm.
get through the episodes before I bring this all up because it'll start to tie in together, I
Mhm.
promise. I like like Teresa's going through it, and we're gonna put a pin in that, and we're just gonna leave it there. Okay, we're gonna leave it there, and we're gonna move on to Danielle and Rachel's issues. So Danielle and Rachel seem to have a good laughing moment out in Ireland when one, the girls fell outside the bar, and they just kind of laughed together and they had a moment. But then Rachel went ahead and called Danielle a rat, and then Rachel won't let the rat thing go.
Mm,
And I think everyone's kind of playing into this whole like Cosa Nostra vibe of you don't call somebody a rat because that's just our culture. And I understand that because you and I are Hispanic and we're from the West Coast, and I also have Italian in me, but like, that's one side of my life. My other side of my life is very like everything revolves around the Hispanic culture, and like it
mhm,
always comes back to that. So I also understand that.
mhm.
But at the same time, I mean, is calling somebody a rat in modern society, we're not in the 80s anymore. Is calling someone a rat in modern society really that deep?
I would say it could be deep for sure. But it's not even about that. It's just the constant competition these two have, like forcing themselves to be friends, but really being frenemies. I think there was a lot added to it, not just in the sake of the culture and the location and the innuendos and stuff like that. I don't really feel that it wasn't nothing. I felt like it was something. It was like you say certain things like you got to be willing to take if you're gonna say it, mean it is more what I'm saying. If you're gonna say it, you should
Got
mean it.
it.
And so it means, yeah, you're not my people no more. We're not fucking with each other. Like that's kind of how I took it more than anything.
Parental advisor.
Oh.
Okay. Look, okay, so here's another thing too. So the fact that Danielle carried this over, Danielle really coming into the next episode, Danielle kind of really took a hit with this, like to the point where it affected her, where she said that she was emotionally drained. In like a lot of words, she said she was emotionally drained, and that it took a lot out of her, and that she was to hear. And I was a
Mhm.
little confused as of why it took so much out of her, because in my mind it didn't seem that big, like the whole thing didn't seem that big of a deal. It just seemed, sorry.
Oh.
It's been
This yawn is
a
brought to you
long day.
by people who work a lot of shifts and still bring you a YouTube episode,
And youthfulness
podcast, and we look good too. So yeah.
and to commercial. No, but I didn't really catch the weight of how much this got to her, more than
Mhm.
like she mentioned it a lot, and then she was talking to her mom about it, and then they brought up her brother, and
Mhm.
like, oh no, that's this coming week. Oh,
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself.
No, it's okay. But I would say real quickly, I feel like unfortunately, and this would be like constructive criticism because
Mhm.
we do generally like Danielle. It
Yes.
does feel like this first season was played very much like I've watched every episode of Housewives. I want to make these marks that I think are going to work, storming off, which she probably thought like she was serving it, but the reality is she showcased very early that everyone could get under her skin, or vice versa, that in theory, she says she will put hands on somebody, which will also take you off the show for the most part.
Yes.
So she kind of like dug herself a little bit of a ditch there. And then following it with Ireland, being that distraught, it's like we go through so many things, people, we go through a lot of things. And I'm not saying I'm even good at it, but they do say, don't let them see you sweat, don't give them the satisfaction. She could do that with her mother, but she
Mhm.
really did walk around at that the end of the trip, like her whole world was shattered. And I think it was because why? Because she cares about being a housewife just a little bit more than
Yeah.
everyone else. I think the
Yeah.
next season will be really good for her. She's going to be an icon next season, but this season I feel like the reunion, she's going to get ate up also, unfortunately. But I
Yeah.
think it's the difference between you coming into the space and you're not really like that television star, and then next season when she comes in, she will already be, and I think she'll be good. And I know that from like experiences when I've worked in the radio industry too. It's like it's always hard to compete at the level when the other people are such a success and have so much history under their belt, and you're like, well, where do I fit in? So I'm not exactly mad at Danielle. She's got the husband, the kids are so funny, the mom is like, tell it like it is, the brother
I
is still
like
a
her mom a
mystery.
lot.
We can team Danielle, because I'm with you. We
Yeah.
could whip this together so good for season 2. I want Danielle
Girl.
back, and I want Rachel. I love Rachel. I don't know what it is, but Rachel's like, no, no, no.
Girl, give us a call. Look, Danielle, give us a call. We both been in television.
Hmm.
We're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you together. Not even get you together in a bad way, but just get you together. Like we're gonna get you because you showed up. Okay,
Hmm.
so we're gonna do a whole nother segment, not
Hmm.
today, but we'll do it next week on reunion looks.
Oh, good. I like it.
Because, baby, let me tell you, Danielle was serving, Teresa was serving. She bodied that.
Mm,
I will say I need to give credit, and I always do give credit where credit is due. And Teresa bodied the reunion look. Like,
mm.
I feel like she was the best dressed overall in the cast. Margaret was very well dressed. Like, she came out the gate swinging. Dolores came out the gate swinging. Melissa's look was a little calculated,
Oh no,
I
no,
feel,
I liked it.
but it looked great. But I feel like she was a little calculated.
Hmm.
But Danielle needs to actually take a page out of Teresa's book. Back when Danielle Staub brought up Melissa, Joe, and the kids at one of the original reunions, and that's when Teresa got up when Teresa was in the miniskirt, and she said, "Do not bring up my family," and it was like an iconic moment. And
Hmm.
she pushed Andy down on the couch.
Yeah.
So all Danielle has to do is stand her ground like that when it comes to her brother and not walk away and not even get into it.
Yeah.
Just pin it down, let them know where you stand, and let them know where they're not gonna go. That's
Mm.
all Danielle needs to do.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
it'll give the persona of what she wants to portray on television, because I do believe she is that person, but I think she's struggling with playing nice
Yeah.
for the sake of for the sake of like A, like having the executive producers love you, but B, also trying to gain a major audience following and be a fan favorite, which I think she is going to knock out the park
Hmm.
entirely, because I think she's great. I
Hmm.
think she makes great TV. She has the whole package.
Mm.
It's just not portraying entirely through the television.
Do you know, in my mind, I actually have a thought on this, which is I think secretly she wants to be Melissa's friend, but she knows the long money is hanging out with Teresa. But like she connects more with the Melissa type, and I feel like that's a
Yes.
challenge too. Danielle, come on, for real, for real. Like it feels that way. Like I don't know, like Danielle gets so excited to be around Melissa, where she's more loyal to Teresa. It feels a little bit different. And yes, you can say, because every time you watch this show with Russell and randomly Ronnie Jr., because we all need a little R&R. We love Melissa. So I'm just saying I see something that like, Danielle played it really smart, because Teresa is the winning, not the winning team, because I still rock with Melissa all day, every day, but it's like the wedding is the big moment this season. So Danielle had her role to have an alliance or an allegiance to Teresa, but low key, she'd rather hang with the pretty girls. She'd rather hang with Melissa. She'd rather hang with Margaret, probably even. It's just what I'm thinking. Anyways, I'm done.
Look, and here's the thing. I would be excited to also hang with Melissa. I was gonna say Danielle.
Yeah,
I'd be excited to hang out with her too. I'd also be excited to hang out with Melissa.
we are gonna hang out with Danielle, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna do that. We're gonna like I have some stuff coming, and yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
And I
Yeah,
will be in
yeah,
New York, baby, because
yeah.
I am New York.
Right. I'm not in New York for no reason. I mean, things are
Thank
happening.
you. Look, they're about to just open up Posh again, just so you and I can get back on the couch and start dancing again, because people don't know
Oh,
how we used to
okay.
shut down Posh.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe.
If
Yeah,
anybody
maybe.
wants to rewind it all
Oh
the way
my
back to
gosh.
2018, 2019, baby,
When I had
we
my
used to shut down Posh.
when I had my good hip. No,
When I had my good hip,
I
before
know
before
now
I needed to take fish
I'm an
oil.
old dusty bat. No, I'm kidding. I'm youthful. One other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know where you're going directionally, but I just want to ask you real quick, or kind of say and then get your opinion. I get really tired of the notion that like Margaret is, with the arsenal of information, and she's like digging. I feel like just because you know stuff and you're like in the mix and people love you and you kind of hear things around town, that doesn't mean you're positioning it to go against somebody. And there's just this thing that like it's only coming from the side of like Jen and I guess Danielle sort of supporting it, and Teresa, that like it's like I feel like we all see the play, but yet they're trying to make it like, oh, we're just looking after you because like really Margaret doesn't rock with you. No, Jen, Margaret doesn't rock with you, and you're just the one who is trying to like like your goal is to cut up that friendship, so like suddenly you're more, I don't want to say relevant, but you're, I don't know, it's kind of like a deflection. This show always talks about deflection, and usually I don't like to jump into that word because I'm like, not everything's a deflection. Sometimes I'm just like, mind your business. But in this case, it's like a deflection. So you're trying so hard to make Melissa get mad at Margaret. The same way that I think it happened, they asked both ladies. Melissa, I think, said something about Jackie or to Jackie or advice for Jackie or something. And I think on Watch What Happens Live or other outlets, they were like, well, do you think it was wrong that you said this about Jackie? It's like, no, we're friends. Like we talk, like me and you, Russell, get your shit together. Like when you got love for somebody, it don't matter. You're like good. You could actually go there. And so
Yes.
you all on the sidelines, Jen on the sidelines, as she's always been. I mean, either on the sidelines or completely up Teresa's ass. It's like she wants to be able to have a moment, so she wants to divide these other girls, but the other girls don't have problems. You're saying that they do. Oh, Jackie, aren't you mad that Melissa did this? I'm not saying Jen said that, but the way people talk. Jackie should be mad at Melissa. Jackie's like, no, I'm not even phased. Like, that's my girl. It's these other people who are saying you should feel this way. Can we do a gem of the night? My gem of the night is never be confused by somebody else telling you how you should feel. I mean, gem of the night.
that was poetic, Ronnie. Well, first of all, not only was that poetic, but like this lighting and this look, your eyes, like, let me just get this close up again. Like, look at this. Everything is popping. You got the blue, look, subtle blue in the bottom corner. You got all the pink representing Barbie. Come on.
Then can you tell them to go to my Patreon too to make it rain? I mean, if it's that moment, patreon.com/randomlyRJ Jr. And now I'm going to transition into my quiet, smooth, seductive voice from this moment
baby. Slip into his DMs and then slip into his sublet in New York.
No.
Look.
It's too late. We're both tired. We got to wrap soon.
We are so tired. Oh, gosh. Okay. Moving on to the next episode. Antonio got a car.
I know.
This was like a sweet moment for me. This was such a sweet moment for me just because this is why we work so hard as adults. This is why you're working hard. This is why I'm working hard. You and I have spoken about this. I don't know why I paused. You and I have spoken about this, and we all know that if I'm able to financially support and have my kids not struggle, that I do want kids and I want to get to this point. And so it's the reason why we work so hard is to be able to give them a life that we never had. And I love the fact that Melissa said she drove a Toyota, and, you know, Nani said that she drove a beat up Chevy or however she said it. And I think that's great because not only are you able to afford these opportunities to your children, but you're also able to reflect with them and let them know the things that you went through in order to get to this situation so that they're still grateful. I think one of my best quotes that I've heard, or just like conversations that I've heard, was between Snoop Dogg and his wife. And they said, our kids are privileged, but our kids will also not know what the hood is and know what hood life is, because that is where we came from. And this is where we came up from. And so I think in Melissa and Joe's situation, like, they were just normal people. They were normal people, and Joe became a real estate developer, and Melissa started doing her thing, and then she got into fashion. And speaking of fashion, she co-hosted on E! For the Met Gala.
Oh, she looked wonderful. I mean, she
looked great.
She's the J-Lo of Housewives, of course. Like, who else to shut it down? That's what I'm saying. You all, and I don't know what's going to happen, you all who swore, and the tide is turning, by the way, you all who just were so adamant, like, oh, it's going to be Teresa or Melissa. It'll be like an ultimatum, which I understand. Teresa did start the show, and it's Teresa's wedding. That Teresa, if there was an ultimatum, not saying Teresa created that, but like the network, we only want to continue on with one. Yes, it would be Teresa. But what I'm saying is, I think people are now starting to understand, wait a minute, we're going to lose Melissa and Joe. And I've always said, now I don't want Melissa or Joe to go. And I thought that rumor was so silly. If it had merit, fine. Because I always said, a show does not define you. Like, are you crazy? Like, who has that mentality? Oh, excuse me, pick me. I want to be part of the show. No, you own your value. If they're not messing with you, you step away. Melissa will be okay. Now, I don't want her to lose that check. It's a great check. But this notion that she's thirsty or it's all about Teresa, you watch, and it's happened on other reality shows too. I watch a lot of VH1, a lot of Love and Hip Hop. You let some of the wrong people go. Sure, they like that check for sure. And VH1 doesn't pay you like Bravo, but almost everyone who the network wants to play with, that fire gets lit. And you think Melissa and Joe are not going to like make some moves? And that is, of course, another nod to that. You know, the Met Gala, Melissa works for that. You know what I mean? I remember when she started her podcast On Display, she like kind of always went viral without even trying. She's kind of like slowing down right now, and it's mostly about the show. But wait till she starts getting interviews again. She just does this naturally. So again, Bravo fans, do what you want, think what you want. Teresa's your queen. Wonderful. Got no issue with it. I want Teresa to be happy. But mark my words and make no mistake, Melissa is here. Like she's here, like regardless. I'd even venture to say she elevates even further.
But also, don't forget, if you take Housewives of Jersey and you put that up against, I'm just going to use Real Housewives of Atlanta as a comparison. Teresa's like the Nene and Melissa is like the Candy, but Nene eventually left and is gone, and Candy is now one of the center of attention. So don't get it twisted. Just because you're an original doesn't mean you can't go and I mean, Nene's not doing much. She has the Lanithia in Atlanta, which is a bar, but like I'm not seeing any big promos. I'm not seeing any acting gigs again.
Yeah,
She was
I've never liked Nene, but I also won't count anyone out. I feel like sometimes, and I said this for Teresa or Melissa, and that's why I just said a second ago that don't let this show define you. Yes, the check's nice, but you could go away and come back. I mean, I know it's a little bit risky in terms of career, but you should never let anything have that much power over you, even though it's work and it's opportunity. Own a value in yourself, and you can make a move somewhere else. So I'm just saying, Nene, I've never liked ever. Like she holds no candle to Kenya Moore. Like, however, I also won't knock like, you know, you need a moment to, you know, start doing new things, be creative in a different way. So you know, I think I think every housewife should feel that way. And I hated the way Andy sort of made it like, you know, very dismissive, like everyone's replaceable, and they are, including you, Andy. I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the what is it? The Hunger Games of housewives. I would rather let's celebrate them all, and don't, just like we talk about drag. You know, we always say like don't make the Drag Race girls the only ones who get attention because they're on television. Also support local drag. So the same thing would be with housewives. The ones that are on TV, wonderful. The ones that have like started a new business, like support them too. Like it's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And support your own friends. Support your own friends. Support your own families.
Well, there's that.
You know, stop. If you have friends that are great designers, buy their things and wear those things. That's how we build each other up. Like these, like celebrities have so much money and they have. Mom was good in that shot.
Oh, he's been working.
Celebrities have theirs, right? And so let's build each other up because the money just keeps going around. So let's build it, let's grow it, and let's keep moving forward. Anyways, oh Lord, it's been a long day. Speaking of building each other up, Gia decided that she wanted to build up her mom and throw her a bridal shower along with Jennifer. So let's talk about the bridal shower. There's a few things going on here. Teresa, again, acknowledging everybody in the room but Melissa. And I told myself, okay, that's cool. And Melissa said she's over it. She doesn't look for it. And I think that's good. When you don't look for something, then your feelings can't be hurt, right? But I also found it interesting that, oh gosh, this is okay. So we're gonna get into it. Here we go.
I think you need a solo shot to really express yourself, like Madonna said.
We're gonna get into this, and I'm gonna look directly into the camera. I need to pause for a moment. There are things that we are not knowing about this confrontation that have yet to be acknowledged on camera. Reason being is because Teresa answers her phone. Louis talks about who they're going to invite to a rehearsal dinner, and he specifically says that he's not inviting Teresa. I'm sorry, he's not inviting Melissa and Joe. And Teresa acknowledges the fact that they're filming. Louis panics, hangs up, ends the conversation. Then you have this situation at the bridal shower of everyone playing nice, but no one knowing about this Teresa, Melissa. Now, Louis, grant you, because Louis is always trying to be the peacemaker and the good person and the bad person. Well, if you're the peacemaker and you're always extending an olive branch, where is this olive branch this time when it comes to your future brother-in-law and your future sister-in-law? If you want to be the middleman, again, I've said this before, if you're an in-law, you need to not get involved. You need to not get involved. You need to take a step back and let the brother sister handle their thing because they've been doing it their whole lives. And I promise you, they will figure it out. Till then, it is your job to be cordial, be kind, be an open ear to your spouse, but also call right and wrong when you need to call right and wrong. So there's that. And then we get into now everyone else involving themselves in pointing out that Teresa is doing these things on purpose and that it's hurtful. I don't know how I feel about this anymore. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I feel Teresa is entirely the villain, and I don't feel like I agree with Melissa being entirely, not even Melissa, but Melissa and Joe being entirely the victims. Because everything is a two-way street. So I feel like they're both undercutting each other in order to get this woe is me headlines in the tabloids because that's what sells and everyone wants to be on top, right? I also want to acknowledge that we haven't had any slip-ups with Melissa, Joe, and their kids. But now we have Teresa's kids in the car while they're talking about not inviting Joe and Melissa to this rehearsal dinner. And now the girls are involved. Antonia's already been involved. Not Antonia. Gia has already been involved.
Yeah. And Gia, the lackluster Gia. Yes.
It was cut to make it seem that she was annoyed that she had to go say hello to Melissa, which I don't believe that was the case. Mm-hmm. I believe that she was having a whole different conversation. And then that sigh as in like, ugh, I'm gonna go say hi to my aunt was a whole different thing. Like we already know how editing works. You and I, it makes great TV.
Oh, and like that other party, yeah.
The internet works. The internet loves to jump on things that seem to be but actually aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're in that culture right now where it's like, this is what's happening. Do your research, people. Stop playing games. I don't know. What's your take on this? Because right after this, we're gonna get into a scandalo, and we're really gonna dissect this.
Gosh, I've been waiting. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting
for you.
And we always have the chisme that's off camera too. No,
which y'all will never know about. Don't ever come for my DMs. Don't ever ask me what chisme is off camera because that is a little R&R on the R&R on the DL.
We are a vault. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's how we do it. That's why we're successful. Okay, listen. You asked me what I thought. I mean, I don't know that I could say I even really thought of it like that. Like, oh, is Teresa the villain and are the Gorgas the victim? I actually feel a lot of people come so heavily for the Gorgas that it almost feels like, man, like leave them. Like, can we leave them where they're not the villain? Like, it almost feels that way sometimes. So it's interesting to see the perspective. In terms of Louis, I mean, it's like that thing, and I'm actually really bad at this, which is probably a good thing though. Like I am not somebody who, I think I've talked about this on the show here. I'm not somebody who like welcomes somebody's, I mean, I guess Louis not new anymore, but I'm not like I'll just like give an example. Like let's say my cousins or whatever, and let's say we have like a family function. It's like, oh, cousin's got a new boo thing. It's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm very like nice and cordial and happy and warm, but I'm not like some of the other family members of the or my aunts. They're very, people, other cousins even, they'll be very welcoming. Like, oh, they're such a good guy, such a good guy. Or oops, did the camera move? Oopsie. Or there's such a oops, now it's all messed up. Damn it, man. Okay, hold on 1 second. You're making a good point, and then there's that.
It's
There's
okay.
such
Look, I tell people all the time, anything can happen when you're live. This is why we don't go
yeah.
from tape to from pre-tape to no. We want all the rough edges because it makes us real. And this is what we don't pre-cut.
Yeah.
We have because it was necessary. Necessary.
Oh, I
But
know what
we
you're
don't
talking
do that
about.
no more.
Okay. Ooh, you're in your spicy mood today. Okay. No, but I was saying like I don't as a person, and I don't know why I'm like this, but you're around somebody, even when you're your best friends and they're like with somebody new, like I'm not really that open. I'm very like, oh, nice to meet you, but I'm not like, oh, they're such a great guy or they're such a great girl, like, oh, as if like bringing them into the family so soon. That is not what I do. I don't do that. It takes a while. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm very let me warm you into the situation. Like this is my best friend. They're now dating someone new. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm not a hater by any means, but takes a while. So the notion that Louis was like this savior, I don't know about savior, but that he was creating this namaste thing. I really am like, well, she's been promoting namaste Zen vibes and never acting on them for years. So I really just felt like we and not me because I'm not a Teresa fan, never, especially when she was on The Apprentice. Ooh, talk about a tough one. I have never been a Teresa fan, so I didn't feel this, but I know a lot of you Teresa fans want to have this happy ending, and I think you were able to do it on the back of like Louis is just going to be the right guy to fit in, even if he wasn't. And so it just does not seem like he's being more shady by having that comment on the phone. It just seems like he is that guy, and we've seen nothing but like an arced, orchestrated storyline to magically give this happy ending, this season finale. Of course, when you do the preliminary meetings for the season, you know that this is going to be the biggest thing of the season. They probably found out very early they would have a spinoff, like a four episode spinoff. So everything was like an art game plan. I'm not knocking it. People go on these shows, they don't give you their full reality. They give you an ounce of something. But he does not seem as warm as he would like us to think. There's a lot of holes in the scenario, but for the sake of Teresa, everything that she's been through, and the fact that there's no prenup, which is absolutely crazy. She just went through everything she went
That
through
is
with
bonkers.
she went through everything she went through with Juicy Joe and got through it, came out on the other side, and now is just giving. We talk about don't give all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
Every egg is in Louis' basket. And we can try to be warm and desensitized by seeing, his sister and his mother. And I'm not saying they're probably wonderful people. Louis probably a wonderful guy, but I'm just like really cautious of the scenario. And ultimately, Teresa sort of fought for this. She fought. She said, Margaret last season, why were you coming into my love bubble? So she's done enough that we could only, the cast and the fan base, we can only let Teresa rock with this man. And if this is what he is and who he is, we'll see more of it. It's just all the things don't really add up. I'm not necessarily interested per se, but when he went on Watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen said, "What is your job?" And I don't know, career, job, entrepreneurship. Usually you have an answer. Russell, am I right about that? You usually have an answer.
Yes.
He did not. And I just hope Teresa's prenup. Wait, she doesn't have one. I hope Teresa's prenup. Wait, she doesn't have one. I just hope Teresa's prenup. Wait a minute, she doesn't have one. Is solid. That's all I got on that. Yeah.
Look, I think this is a good segue to get into Escándalo.
Okay, we love a girl chat moment. Let's get into it.
Let's start unpacking this. Okay. Louis.
Oh, by the way, before you do this part of the Escándalo, the off-camera commentary that we were talking about, which will not come up because we're vaults.
Never.
It's locked. It's locked, baby.
Never.
The vault. You're looking at one. That was pretty good, though. What we communicated. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just saying we know some things. We
And
just
we
know.
love And we absolutely love it. We love everything about it.
Okay, back to your regularly programmed novella. Go.
Regularly, and we're about to love everything about this as well. We're about to
Yee.
I'm about to body this just like Teresa bodied her outfit. Anyways. Okay, so Louis is supposed to be this good guy, this namaste, this peaceful. Remember about Pizzagate? He was supposed to be this big investor.
Mm.
Pause. Digital Media Solutions, which Louis is the founder and acting president of, is being sued in a string of lawsuits that are well over hundreds of thousands of dollars. For, give me a second. I have everything here. Mind you, y'all, we pulled this show together in the midst of it all for improper business practices. Okay. Teresa was saying that Joe was doing improper business practices when it came to Pizzagate, which is why it never took off and became successful. Then we have Louis making the comment about Joe and Melissa. And a source told me, a source told me that Melissa brought up edited text messages to Andy to prove her case. However, the original text messages were leaked. Now, again, I'm just Wendy. I'm just bringing out the info.
Oh, so now
what's out there. Okay.
Now you're sitting in the pink chair. Okay,
so
go ahead.
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing? So, I'm just Wendy. I'm just letting you know what's out there. It has nothing. Doesn't matter. My opinion on this doesn't matter. I love Melissa. Still do. Always will. Ironically.
Oh no, the evil laugh. Russell's bringing the evil laugh.
Ironically, hold on. I have like 7 pages open on my phone. Okay. The guy who Melissa is accused of cheating with,
right,
is the commentator on Divorce Court.
Yeah, or something on Divorce Court. Yeah,
he is the commentator on Divorce Court. Okay, and Danielle now has a secret about Melissa allegedly making out with this man in the back seat. Now, again, I'm just giving you what's out there. I have no opinion. Even if it is the case, I don't care because I feel like her and Joe are strong enough to make that happen in any way they will. Melissa told Teresa that the only thing she was going to make time for is the wedding. That was it. So the reason why Melissa was continuously left out of these things was because when, mind you, Teresa knew everything that was going to happen. Everything, including the surprise bridal shower. Melissa sent out the invitation virtually through email, and you clicked on the link and it gave you a list of every single event that was going on. This is what these are the real text messages, allegedly. These are the real text messages that were actually shown to disprove the edited text messages that Melissa showed to Andy.
Wait, Melissa showed them first? No, they were leaked from, I thought that was leaked from like Louis' side.
Sorry, yes, the real ones. Melissa showed her alternate version.
Wait, so I'm clear, and you are telling a wonderful story, Wendy. So there was leaked text. This is scalding. So there was leaked messages, and which had people in a tizzy, like, oh, see, this is why Melissa's crazy. Not crazy, but all the things. And you're saying at reunion, you are hearing from a reliable source that Melissa proves otherwise based on this is what the text message actually looked like. right?
Yes.
Okay. To which I always say, not to cut you off, but to what I always say it. I always say it. And I don't know why Housewives has adopted this so much, and it seems to like work, even though it never does really work. Sometimes maybe I've got the receipts, and some of the receipts or the leaked this or the leaked that or the text message. It actually kind of feels more like, in my opinion, that is somebody I'm not rocking with because I'm not hanging or communicating that heavily outside of the show. Where you have to communicate with somebody who could easily turn that around. It's like Russell. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you and I always say, like, if I called Russell or if he called me and I start complaining about somebody else to him, he's going to be like, okay, Ronnie's still a stand up guy, but he also is so quickly to like call somebody out and give up their, their dirt or whatever. And we have always said that's just nothing that's something to watch out for. And luckily in our friendship, that's never happened. We may have had something to say about someone's or a couple people
Some ones or
mutually.
some twos.
We agreed on stuff, but it's not like any of us ever said, oh, I'm gonna say this one is this and this, and then the other party is like, damn, well, what's he saying behind my back? So in my mind, can you help me connect? Am I making sense that I sometimes feel like that leaked text messages or this is a receipt, you're not going to believe it, feels a little in that spirit where I'm not necessarily saying, oh, you're legit because you've got a leaked message or a receipt. I'm more like, you're not stand up, you're foul, and I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
out for you.
Not only that, but
I mean,
look, you're on a TV show, you know things are going to be used against you. Why are you not moving more either side?
mhm.
Why are you not moving more strategically to protect your barricade to Kardashian yourself? We love a good NDA. So why was there no NDA signed about text messages?
That's the
As
other.
in, these are still private conversations. They are not to be spoken about on camera. They're not to be spoken about in
Can you do
public.
that though?
Yeah,
You can.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
The
I
only
think
time
it
they can
like
be brought up is in
I,
court.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's so cheesy. Use your words. Be smart. Be swift. Tell somebody where to go and how to get there. Talk like Melissa told Andy. Are you a therapist? That is where you should shine. And if you can't shine that way, F off with your leaked messages and your receipts. It was corny when Monique did it on Potomac, and it's corny when whoever else tried to do it after. And I mean, people did it before too.
Well, here's the other thing too. You have to remember, and mind you, like everything, all the housewives kind of tying together, right? In a way, because especially because BravoCon is a thing now.
We should be hosting a panel at BravoCon. I'd like first class accommodations. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
We should host the Melissa Gorga glow up, panel because soon enough everyone will be Team Gorga, and that's just the way it is.
Look, sorry. No, that has nothing to do with you. Look, this is showing our dedication, right? My eyes are red. I'm yawning. You're up in the middle of the night. I'm up in the middle of the night. We're making this happen for the people. Okay. We saw almost the same thing happen with Lisa Rinna and Kathy
Kim?
Hilton.
Oh, Kathy, yes.
Because Kathy wasn't aware of obviously how text messages work, where if you delete them on your end, it doesn't mean it deletes on the other end.
Right.
Or maybe she misunderstood the update where it's like once 15 minutes is gone, you cannot edit or delete that message anymore. So she said, look, they're not on my end. And so Shane and I were watching that like, wait, did she really not comprehend that like they don't delete on the other person's side? Like it might happen on Instagram. Like you might be able to message someone and then delete it on Instagram and it goes away.
Yeah.
That's one thing. This is text messages. Those are actual receipts. So I'm curious to know what was supposed to be there and what's not supposed to be there. And I'm interested to see what Andy has to say about it, because Andy has even released a statement that states that he has never gone off on Teresa in any other season or reunion the way that he has this season and this reunion.
Right.
And so, I gotta sneeze.
We're just a mess. I'm over here eating. It's the first time I ate all day. And you're sneezing, rubbing our eyes, just like tired.
We are, but we are here.
We do it for our Jersey girls. God, we didn't mention Dolores that much today.
We didn't, but because that's, we can get into that too. Dolores is in a rock and a hard place. Here I go. I gotta sneeze again.
Okay, I'm
Pause.
gonna eat again. This is the first time I ate all day.
Giving the people ASMR.
Not that I was trying to not eat, but I was busy. I was busy getting those checks. Thank you.
Dolores is in a rock and a hard place because I think she's in a good place with Melissa. She also has loyalty to Teresa. And then she has her issues with Frank. And I was glad to
Mm.
see the resolution between Frank and Dolores for the celebration of Frankie. Now Brittany will be invited, and along with Brittany, Polly will now be invited, and it's Dolores standing her ground, which I also appreciate.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah.
She stood her ground. She's the ex parole officer. Like this, like we love these moments for Dolores. Again, Dolores is doing great this season. Like she's my number one all season. And I love how they spearheaded the season with her because she was just doing everything.
Yeah, I don't get the notion where people are like she's not bringing it or no.
She absolutely brought it.
The happy ending we're trying to get out of Teresa, we're getting it with Dolores. Thanks.
Exactly, and we're getting it in a shorter amount of time, with no drama attached.
Yeah.
So there is clearly a lot happening behind the scenes when it comes to Melissa, Teresa, Joe, and Louis, and now these things are starting to unravel. Now, sources also say that
Damn TMZ.
That you see my old job. So Jen Fessler and Jackie were very silent at the reunion.
Aww.
They didn't offer much, which I kind of like that position for Jen Fessler.
I do think Jackie needed to show up.
I think Jackie needed to show up a little bit more, from what I've heard.
And I'm a Jackie fan.
Yeah, so am I. I was gonna say something so inappropriate right now, but I'm not going
I feel like I'm gonna get really like not made fun of, but they're gonna be like, "Stop eating, chubby." Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Look, I never curse. I need to eat. And we're gonna wrap this up because we're already going an hour. And you and I are both on borrowed time and borrowed spaces, so like we want to be considerate of other people. But Jen Fessler did not show up. I'm going to just do like a solo shot for a second. Jen Fessler did not show up the way that they wanted her to, and neither did Jackie. Okay, so I think Jackie should have shown up because when Jackie makes her point, she does very well at it. And she always makes a good point. Jackie does. Jen Fessler, I like that she took a step back and just had her seat there at the reunion because it says a lot about her. And so I think with Jen Fessler, it almost adds to her character because she's still allowed to have these one-off moments, like when she's talking about Tony
Soprano.
I was gonna say Tony Montana. Hannah Montana, Tony Montana. It's all relative. But she gets to have these moments. She's fun. She's outgoing. She stands her ground. She asked Jennifer to leave when she disrespected her house. She has all these good moments going for her, and that's it. She says it, she sets it, and it's done, and it's over with. And I like that about her. So I like the fact that she didn't get drug into these issues in the reunion because it allows her to still maintain that persona of who she is. And I love that because it's her truth as a friend. Now she becomes a full-time housewife, then she has other obligations, and she will definitely need to get involved in the spider web of mess. But I do like that, from what I'm hearing, is that she almost just was kind of there. She was playing, she was there, she was looking good, she was present, she showed up.
Yeah.
That was it. And I like that.
I liked that her mother and her mother's twin, like, I don't know, I wanted more. So
that.
Another, like, I assume you're not gonna get rid of Jen Fessler for next season because we're just getting started. I need like the mom and the twin, like I need more scenes with them. I mean, that adds to to her the same way Marisol had like Mama Elsa. Like, I mean, it's not like the same comparison, but I want more.
Speaking of, So okay, so there's a lot. There's so much going on in Housewives right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are now filming in Spain currently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's her trip
Is
this
Kyle
season.
is Kyle still on the show?
Kyle is still on the show.
Okay, then I won't be watching.
I was not. I was ready for that, but I was not ready for that.
I'm amazed on how we are low energy. We're really tired. Haven't got to do this in 2 weeks, and we're just like really kind of funny. What
We're
is going
very kind of
on?
funny.
Yeah.
So Real Housewives of Miami is now filming,
The
and
Larsa
Marisol
show.
was spotted on this at Larsa
Mm,
Pippen's celebrity basketball game, which
mhm,
all the girls have joined, all the women have joined
mhm,
in,
mhm,
and Marisol was sporting um a basketball short and tanks
mhm. Okay.
get up, and I loved it. Like I loved it because she was just there, and she looked like I didn't get to really see all the footage, but she was there and she was there to ball, and
Mhm.
she was like, she had like, look, she had her hair up, she was ready, like she looked like a ball player, which I 100% appreciated.
Mhm.
And of course, we saw Nicole actually sitting in the middle and Larsa in the lineup, which really piqued my interest because I want to know where that friendship is at right now. And I want to know where Nicole's friendship is with everyone because Adriana and Julia were off on their own thing
Mhm.
and were really kind of excluded from the group, which
But do we blame that on the group or do we blame that on self? Like, I don't like in
I'm not
Miami. I don't.
saying
Go
I'm not
ahead.
saying either way. I'm just saying it surprised me that Nicole was actually sitting in a lineup with Larsa one seat away from her.
Oh, well, I can tell you why. Because I've said before,
Oh,
time and
don't no. You are going on. It's too late for this. Yes. That was such a good show, Ronnie Jr. We will see everybody next
hope.
week.
Hope. Oh, you knew what I was gonna say, didn't you?
I did know what you were gonna say, but we're
Okay.
not gonna go there because here's the thing.
God, this
Even
guy
if it was
loves
what you were gonna
Nicole.
say, even if it was what you were gonna say, both women allowed it to happen, which is why it caught me by surprise. Because
And
whether
Nicole was
you don't
really
like
happy about that.
anyone or
Larsa's like,
you
"Who are you? What's your name?" Like, what?
nuh-uh, because Larsa let it happen. If Larsa really wasn't playing with her, Larsa
Larsa
would not
does
have
not
let this
care.
happen.
Larsa's like, "Get this girl away from
She would
me."
have not let this happen. We'll get into that next season.
Nicole's like, "Can you sign my autograph?" Like, yeah, it's Nicole's true colors are really showing. You mark my word.
Or this could be the pretty girl. This could be like the pretty girl reunion moment. Not like reunion, but like where like two odds come together and make a right kind of moment, which
Well,
I'm
then
curious to see. I'm telling you, I was very piqued my interest.
maybe you have to send me this photos of video because I'm not buying it, but I'm glad that you're buying it. I'm glad that you see it because you like Nicole. That's the thing, and you kind of stopped liking Larsa.
I'm not gonna say I dislike Larsa. I'm also not gonna say that I like Nicole. I'm kind of getting to this place right now where everyone is who they are. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about Jersey.
Mm.
Like I don't 100% dislike Teresa anymore. Like I was not loving her this season. I was not
Wow.
feeling Teresa this season, and we all know this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that these messages are coming out, and now that these things are happening, and now that all the pieces are kind of starting to move, I
Mm-hmm.
just sit back now and watch it all unravel.
You know what you're doing? You're doing what the and we don't know this wonderful content creator, but he says this all the time, and everyone knows he's a superstar. The great Kempire always says, "I'm not team this one or team that one. I'm team me." So I think you're kind of getting in that vibe where, like
Yeah.
Housewives fans, we get too excited. Now I like Larsa. I think Nicole really was lackluster last season, and she had a really good season even throughout. But I'm also like you. I could just like Larsa and like Nicole, do you? And if she elevates and Nicole does great, wonderful. Like it's like
Yeah.
again, I like that concept. Like it's not team this or team that. It's like team me, team my success. Success. Real quick, can I switch for one moment?
Let's switch.
Marisol and Alexia have a podcast, so we definitely wanted to like shout that out. And then we're also hearing that the star of the show might also have a podcast with the headline making current boyfriend. So that might be coming or is coming, or I don't know if it's announced, but that's what we're hearing. So wow, 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 wow. I'm here for it. Yes, yes, yes,
We'd love to
yes.
see that. And I hope that they have Marisol in her basketball uniform, like they have. And I don't even mean this by any shade, but like all the Kardashians have Khloe Kardashian's mugshot in it, because I feel like Marisol in her basketball getup today was like a true ball out champion
Yeah.
like moment. Like she was having a moment. This is what I love about certain housewives, is that when they're living their authentic selves, you could do anything, be anything, and like we're just gonna rock with it, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
like me, I'm always in basketball shorts, always in like gym shorts. I want to say basketball shorts. I'm always in gym shorts, and I'm always in a tank top, racer back, always.
Mm.
Right. And so like if I was on Bravo and you saw me, you're like, oh, that's Russell's moment, even though we like to see him in a suit and tie because he looks hella good in a suit and tie. Okay. As you saw in the opening credits.
Oh.
But I also like that we don't need to see housewives in a dress. We don't need to see them in a
Oh,
dress.
right, right,
We
right, right,
like
right.
to see them in a street get up, like you're about to go play ball at the street up the park down the road.
I
We
I
love
like
this.
I like what you're saying, variety and range. I always said I like Dorinda because she doesn't necessarily subscribe to all the younger styles of dress, which I liked. And I think coming into New York with the great, insanely fashionable, in terms of the work she's done over the years, Jenna Lyons, I think in some of the images we've seen recently, like she is just working it out in a fashionable way, but then it's not necessarily a typical housewife, tight clothing or whatever the case. Like it's just really Jenna Lyons giving it up how she gives it up. And I'm just so excited to always see that, to see not the same thing and showing that we can have a sporty look. We could have, dressed to the nines. Like we want to see it all. With Marisol dressed like that, I could only wait for the confessional. I'm just like so like the confessional is going to be so funny. She's going to say something about, oh, I don't work out, but like I have to try this workout. Like it's just something funny is going to work. I don't know. Pippen is over there with Jordan. I thought I might try on a basketball short or two. Like it's just going to be funny and dumb in the best possible way.
Yes, 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 yes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is why we love to watch Danielle be Danielle, because Danielle did this at the softball game
Mm-hmm.
for Housewives. The only thing that I would have liked to see more with Jersey is that I would have loved for the softball tournament to take me back to my high school days, where it's like you're really just doing the thing. You have your hair up in the ponytail, like
Mm-hmm.
you're looking cute and coordinated because you know how to hit a ball and you know how to catch a ball. And I would have liked to see the guys not be so douchey about it by ripping off their sleeves. And like, again, I don't like or dislike anybody. I just would have liked to see them, with the pants and the seeds in the mouth and spitting out the sunflower seeds, or like your big league chew. Like, just in all out. Like, if you're gonna be the character, you gotta be the character.
Mm-hmm.
And if this was an acting studio and everyone was on an even playing field, I would say Marisol really engaged with her character and got into the moment of what she was supposed to be. And I think Danielle did the same thing for the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right. I piggybacking what you said, that I do get a little tired. Like obviously we like the glam. That's always like really fun. We love the high fashion and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, like they can do a scene, or they should be doing scenes where they're also like going to the gym, and they do them,
Yes.
but they're usually like super glammed to do that. I want more of a natural that way, a natural look that way. When you have the nicer moments or you're at a gala, it like shines a little bit better. So I agree with you. And that's old school housewives. That's like how it was at the beginning, They were
Yes.
doing their own hair and makeup, not hair and makeup for every scene. Like
I want to see
it's not
them.
needed.
I want to see them waking up with one eyelash. Or like I want to see them sweat their eyelash off when it comes to being at the gym, because they're really putting in the work. I want to see a little bit more nitty gritty, and I hope that Housewives starts to take a turn like this. And I feel
Mhm.
like Jersey can really do it. New York, we've all known I have not been a fan of New York Housewives
Oh.
since like the first two seasons. Like it has just gone downhill. They haven't found the right people. Like again, I will say this once, I will say it again. We haven't got a housewife of Brooklyn. We haven't got a housewife of the Bronx. Like there is no character and personality, and you are not representing New York at its finest.
Well, let's see what the new one is, which is premiering in July. Let's see
Let's
what
see.
Jenna Lyons and company brings. Let's have hope. Yeah.
Let's hope. But I'm telling you right now, like we are not getting the New York that we love.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting this high finance, you know, high finance whatever of New York, and
He's
we're
like,
not liking
I
it.
can't find the
I
words.
can't even put the words together because New York, yes, is about penthouses and high rises and big buildings and dreams and all these things. But New York is also about the streets and about making your way in a concrete jungle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's number one. Remember, there was a TV show called Lipstick Jungle. I need to see. I was watching because I'm always like streaming Peacock, which is where Russell Ray's show, Create the Escape, is on also. But beyond that, I was watching like season 2 and 3 of Real Housewives of New York recently, just kind of having it in the background. And I love the way like Luann's like working on a book, and then Bethany has this project. Like everyone had a project or a thing, and if it wasn't a project for like business wise, it was like Alex McCord, like renovating the home. Like I feel like Housewives doesn't have a lot of we're doing things. It's more like we're reacting to rumors that were made up by some asinine blogger. Like it's just it's too much. It's too much.
Yes. And on that note, we are going to continue to unravel stories, and we're going to bring you exclusives, and we're going to bring you a little bit more escándalo. Ronnie Jr., it's been a pleasure. Oh, my voice is cracking. It's been a pleasure. I love the fact that you and I are on the same Eastern time zone, because this was not supposed to happen the way that it did, but it did, thankfully. Once again, Ronnie Jr. is in New York because he is popping in the studio with, let me take this little banner off so everybody can see where to find you, at randomlyrjr.com.
Yeah.
You can also head over to his Instagram. That's in the very beginning, I believe. The credit is still there where you can
at RandomlyRJ. Yep.
And also go ahead and give him a listen on 94.7 The Block. Support Jonesy in the morning, because we love an original old school New Yorker. She was the original. She did it first. She came before all the shows that you're seeing now. And she also is a vocalist, and she has a new song that's out.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I got it on the screen once again. This is Miss Jonesy in the morning, who I've had. Oh, let's go close.
Do the big shot. Calling all the ladies.
Calling all ladies. So we hopefully could get the Jersey girls, Melissa Dolores, to do Calling All Ladies dance challenge or whatever. But yeah, shout out to Jonesy in the morning. Shout out to 94.7 The Block and all the other things I'm doing, because I'm doing a lot of things, not just that. So that's like a percentage. I've been real busy. Yes.
And as summer's coming, your kids are going to be home. They're going to be on your nerves. So go ahead and send them to Peacock and have them watch me on Create the Escape. That way they're occupied and they're having a good time. Give them some. Look, here's the thing, right? Give your kids some blocks and have them build their own escape room for their action figures, their toys, their Barbies, their whatever, their stuffed animals, and have them play out these scenarios, and tag me in your videos, and I will give you shout outs, and I will give you due credit where it is due. But check me out, get them numbers out there, see what I do. If you're looking to hire another TV personality, I can do it all. So I could do television. I've done radio. I've done reality. I've done hosting. I've also done acting. So you call me.
And some producing too. Yeah.
And some producing.
I really feel like we should take over. Well, they're doing it for Vanderpump, but I think Peacock Streaming is now doing a lot of watch-alongs. I feel like Russell and Randomly, because we all need a little R&R, should be those re-watchers or whatever you want to call it.
I love that.
So that's what we're manifesting. And yeah, come on.
All right, y'all. Until then, we will see you next week. We're getting closer and closer to the reunion, and we're going to talk about the reunion next week.
We have to do our Housewives taglines of the moment, because we've both been so busy. I haven't chatted with Russell in almost 2 weeks. You don't have to come up with one, but I'm going to come up with one. So mine is going to be, I may have grown up in Southern California, but honey, mother has lived in New York City. Isn't that good? Isn't that so good? Isn't that so good as a housewife
I
tagline?
love
I
that.
love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I kind of like slowly had a hard time with the delivery, but it's late.
You may think that I'm sky high, but you'll never get to my altitude.
Okay, we have to end this show. We both tried. We both failed. It's the first
No, I did
time.
not fail. That was cute.
Oh, okay. Bye, everybody.
You may think my head is in the clouds, but you'll never be at my altitude.
Jeez.
Oh, I cracked my neck.
Good night. Good morning and goodbye.
All right, y'all. We will see you later. Happy housewives. We out.